Hey John, thank you for talking to me. Good to see you again, actually. I think we have to talk about the market crash rate, right? Like what really happened, you know? A lot of people saw their Bitcoin crash, Ethereum crash, everything crash. Something like what? I think it was 20 billion or something lost in a matter of hours. What happened there? Can you please tell us what caused it?
Sure. So over the weekend, we had one of the biggest liquidation event in history. So what actually happened at first was Trump announced 100% tariff on the Chinese import, and then later on, China actually retaliated, and then they implemented a stricter export restriction on all these rare earth materials and all these semicon grade metals. So it was a lot of political drama. However, what really happened? Okay, my view is this. So when Trump made the announcement and China retaliated, it created a dump. However, the big dump, that 19 billion leverage positions that was being wiped out, most of them actually came from the futures market. It was not spot market. So in trading, there's two types. You can buy spot, which means you trade it like investment, and then you can hold futures. And what happened was the futures traders were being liquidated upside down. And that morning, I was actually very shocked. And I'll tell you why. Simply because when I was looking at my account, I saw this. Let me turn on my charts. Let me show it to you. Okay, cool. Can you see my slides here? Can you see
Yeah,
my slides on screen?
yeah.
So this is one of the tokens that I hold. And I was very shocked. Why? From 350, it went down to 0.5.
What the?
350 to 0.5 in a matter of seconds, So it was crazy. It was a 83% dump in a matter of seconds. And I want to show you something. Another coin that I was very shocked was this coin. I want to see this. This coin, if I go on the 4 hour chart, you can see that this coin actually went from $4 to literally 0.01. $4 to 0.01 Chuang. This is crazy. $4 to 0.01. So what really happened? What caused all this? And I couldn't believe my eyes. I was thinking, how is it possible? How is it possible that these coins were crashing at 80 to 90% and some of them 99%? I said I've been in crypto for around 8 years now. I have never seen this kind of prices happening across all exchanges. And I said something is not right, because this is going to liquidate a lot of futures traders. So I went on to study, and then what I've been hearing from multiple desks and quant funds is all these API and routing endpoints fail across. The thing about crypto today is it's very different from a few years ago. Few years ago, yeah, we use Binance, Bybit, and all these exchanges. But right now, a lot of big traders, they also use exchanges like Aster and Hyperliquid, which is called a decentralized exchange platform that allows you to trade futures. The market makers that are connected to all these exchanges, whether it's centralized or decentralized exchange, what happened was the API failed. So when the dump happened, it triggered a sell-off, because most of the time, most of these market makers, they run bots. They run automated strategies. It dropped, it triggered a sell-off, it dropped, it triggered another sell-off. And that sell-off happened so fast. And that's why you saw from $44 to 0.01 in a matter of seconds. And then it rebounded to $3. So
Huh?
this cost, yeah, it all happened in seconds. So this caused the cascade to accelerate so violently, and everyone got liquidated. Liquidated means their entire crypto account was wiped out. And that's why we saw a $19 billion official announcement. But I also read yesterday, there was news that this might be possibly a 400 billion liquidation, where 1.6 million traders, they lost everything. They lost their savings. They literally lost everything.
But these are traders, right? These are people on the futures market, not people who hold them in their long-term wallets, right?
Yes. If you're holding on spot, you are safe.
So if you're not trading, safe lah. So I think the lesson here is try not to trade, especially not on leverage lah, right? Don't borrow money to trade. Is that the message here? I mean, because you can't, because I think it caught a lot of people by surprise, right? Nobody saw this coming.
For me, it's impossible for me not to use leverage. It's impossible for me not to use futures because I am not an investor. I believe the blockchain technology is here to stay, but I'm not going to hold Bitcoin for 10 years. I trade. I get in, I get out. For traders like myself, when I see that the market top, I will cash out and I will short. I will short sell, which means I will bet that the direction is down and I make money there. So the lesson here is this. I'm a leverage trader as well, but I actually make money. I actually made money from this weekend. I'm not happy about it. You know why? Because I literally saw peers in this industry committing suicide. I don't know if you saw the news where a Ukrainian crypto guru and trader who manages a $65 million fund, I think he lost 8 mil himself, and then he's only 32 and he committed suicide. And it's so sad. When I look across the Twitter space, people were crying, people were mourning, people actually committed suicide. So me making money, I don't celebrate about it because I felt painful for these people. But the key is this. My question is, why is this crypto trader a guru? And why did he not use any risk management? Why did he not put stop loss? Why did he?
I heard and I read that even though people put stop losses, it didn't work. It just crashed through the bottom. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. Then my question is, why did you use cross leverage? Cross leverage means your entire account will be used to trade. I only use isolated leverage. Isolated leverage means I only use a part of my account to trade. I don't use my entire account to trade. So all these are risk management that we got to put in place when you do leverage trading. So my question is this, like why are these traders taking so much risk as well and losing everything overnight?
There was also I think an element of manipulation. I read somewhere that the timing was excellent. Someone actually shorted the market like 10 minutes before Trump's announcement, and then he actually went in the opposite direction just after Trump's announcement. So he made something like 160 million US dollars from this one trade, this what they call a Bitcoin whale. So is that true? Was that really manipulation?
Absolutely. I think there's absolute manipulation here. For sure, if you look at the timelines on Friday night, this guy, he opened a new wallet, actually. He opened a new crypto wallet to trade on the perpetual DEX platforms, which means the decentralized exchange. So he don't need to do any KYC, know your customer. And what happened was 30 minutes before Trump's announcement, he kind of doubled down. He kept doubling down. And then later on, once Trump made the announcement, within few minutes, he actually made around 200 million. The total was actually 190 over mil, close to 200 mil. And then what you saw yesterday was yesterday night. So on Sunday night, Trump actually said we are okay. He actually said, guys, we are me and presidency, we are okay. No more issues. And then the market just rebounded so fiercely this morning. For sure, there is manipulation. And this happened on a Friday night. This happened on a time when the US market were closing, the market makers were closing, there were very little liquidity in the market, the order books were there's not so much liquidity in the order books as well. And then Trump made an announcement and this guy profited 190 over mil. And just last night as well, they also found out that this guy is actually from Hong Kong, a young boy from Hong Kong.
Fuck. Holy sh! So this is very important, right? For the vast majority of people who don't know what they're doing, right? They don't know how to use leverage, and they certainly don't know how to trade. I mean, they might be learning how to trade, but they are not as good as most people, right? Certainly not as good as you. That's number one. Number two, if there's manipulation in the market and it's caught everybody by surprise, what does this mean for normal investors who are trying to think about new ways to make money and to invest for the future? And crypto seems appealing now, but these things that happen so often, right? It does so much to cast a bad reputation on the space. What message can you tell investors like that?
My message number one is this. Many people go into the crypto market treating this like a lottery ticket. They want to go in and then make quick bucks and then end up they lose everything. My advice is get yourself educated. And then what happened is some of them get themselves educated, but they get themselves educated in the wrong platforms because a lot of gurus out there are teaching recycled contents. So what happened is a lot of traders go into the market learning from what works in 2022 or 2020 to 2022 or what happened in 2017 to 2018. But all this doesn't work anymore because in today's market is so sophisticated. The open interest on Bitcoin is insane. You got to really get yourself educated, be in the right community of people who are constantly updating themselves. And I think that is very crucial because market moves very fast. You need what works right now. Attending a 3 days class or attending a online program is not enough. You need a community to do it together.
What are the things that people need to know about investing today in digital assets? That's the first question. Second question is, how do you choose the right community? How do you choose the right so-called guru? In fact, what is a guru?
Well, a guru is someone who goes out there and shows off his Lambo and Bugatti and tells you that, hey, I was in the supermarket and now I drive Bugatti, you should follow me. And I think this is the biggest problem. You have to understand that the richest people, they don't flaunt, right? The last thing they want to do is to flaunt their wealth. And the reason why they're flaunting all this is simply because they will trap you in. So I believe you've got to really find real traders out there who run communities. Their communities may not be that flamboyant, not that charismatic, but then every single day they're updating the real stuff. So when I say this, I want you to know I'm going to be biased because I run a community myself. And my community is called Future Trends. And in my community, every single day I update what's happening right now. In fact, when that shit happens, when the shit happens in US, I was actually updating and then I was running emergency webinars with my members. I'd like to show you some of the stuff I actually posted. So today, a lot of things we discussed here is actually what I have been updating my members almost every single day. So I'm going to show you this. This is my Discord. Actually, on the 10th of October, which was last Thursday, I was already updating my members that the OG whales are selling. OG whales means the early investors in Bitcoin, they have been making a lot of profit. They are selling. And all these data are shown here. You can see the guys who own 1 to 10 Bitcoin, 10 to 100 Bitcoin, 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin, 10,000 to 100,000 Bitcoin. All of them are actually selling. The only guys who are buying are these guys, 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin. I don't understand why. This is the only part I don't understand why. But what I can see is the OG whales, the guys who own quite a lot of money in Bitcoin, because 10 to 100,000 Bitcoin, that's 1 mil and above, 1 mil to 10 mil, right? And these guys are the 10 mil to 100 mil. And then these guys are 100 mil to 1B. This is the 1B and above. But you look at these big guys, they are actually selling. So what I do is I actually updated my members on Thursday night. I actually said, guys, my view on the market is the OG whales are selling. And then when shit happens, you know what? On Saturday morning, the first thing I did was I actually buy. At the point of time, right, I must say I was very reckless. Why? I woke up, I saw Bitcoin and crypto crash. The first thing I did was I just buy. Okay, I just buy. And then only I went on to investigate what happened. And then I shared all this with my members. I shared about the largest liquidation in history, and all this happened on Saturday morning. Okay. And then I shared with them the abnormal prices. And then I shared with them the real culprit. So what I'm sharing with you right now about the whole API routing endpoints failing, all of this I actually shared in my Discord. Then only I analyzed the Trump's war. Okay. But then I want to show you something. Actually, on Saturday morning, I said this. I said, don't discount that Trump is using this as a negotiation tactic. Because we have studied Trump's art of war. He will always blast you with a big number and then ask you to negotiate down, right? If you study his book, The Art of a Deal, that is what it's all about. So what happened was I continued buying. Just to let you guys know, Saturday I actually continued buying. And why? And then I run an emergency webinar with my members. Okay. So this is what I mean by a community. And my community were here discussing. Everyone were here discussing. Like this news of 400 billion, it was actually shown to me by one of my community members. So over here at Future Trends, we have a community that is here discussing, analyzing, looking for data and updating each other. Because truth to be told, I can never do this myself. In crypto, you cannot be a lone ranger. You need a community.
Okay, so my question is this, right? The timing of this guy who made $200 million, this young Hong Kong boy, right? His timing was so good with the Trump announcement. So my question is this, right? Every time Donald Trump does something like this, someone makes a lot of money. So is the Trump administration, and we know that Donald Trump also has got his own meme coin, right? His wife also has her own meme coin. Is he part of the manipulation?
I can't say for sure, but from the look of it, it looks like it.
Right?
Because it is pretty obvious. It is pretty obvious. Science again and again since January have shown us.
Right? The
Yep.
tariff in April, right?
Yeah. So science have shown us again and again he has been manipulating the market. He don't know. The thing is, he
What are you
cannot do
gonna
it
do?
on the market. He can't do it on the stock market, but he can do it on the crypto market because it's a unregulated market. So I do think there's still ways to make money, and I like to share with your audience.
Yeah,
first.
can you? Yeah.
Okay. Now let me share with you why on Saturday and Sunday I was just buying like crazy. Okay. I'll show you just now my Discord. I was buying like crazy on Saturday and Sunday. And why was I so aggressive despite all these fears in the market? It is simply because I have a formula. And this formula is very simple. You follow what we call the crypto fear and greed index. This index will show whether the crypto market is fearful or they are greedy. So when it's extreme red, they are fearful. When it's extreme green, they are greedy. If it's in the center, it's neutral. Okay. So last weekend, what happened was on Friday, it was 64. By on Saturday, it was 27. It was fear. And by Sunday, it was extreme fear. Below 25 is extreme fear. Okay. Now, history has taught me one thing. If there's one thing I've learned from history is this. Let me show you the Bitcoin chart. Okay. Let me pull out the Bitcoin chart. Oh my God, I got so many Bitcoin charts. Okay. Now let me go to the daily chart. And then I'm going to show you. Let me remove all these indicators. But I'm going to add one indicator called crypto fear and greed index. Okay. Now, this indicator over here is what I just showed you just now here, the crypto fear and greed index. And let me map it out to the Bitcoin price. Now, history has taught me one thing. What I know Buffett don't believe in crypto, but his principle in investing works so well in crypto. Every time the market goes below 25 in days of extreme fear, you buy, usually can make money on. Okay, let me show you. This is October 12th, which was on Sunday. Let me show you the last time we went to extreme fear again. You look at this. The days of extreme fear, the days of extreme fear, the days of extreme fear. All these days, if you bought over here, days of extreme fear, usually you make money on. Okay? Let me go back. Let me go back here. Okay? Days of extreme fear. You see? Days of extreme fear. You buy, after that, the price will rebound. Because Buffett's principle works so well. It is all about sentiment. Okay, you see over here? Days of extreme fear. Extreme fear. Extreme fear. You buy, if you can hold, if you have holding power, you will be making money. Because crypto market is like stocks on steroids. Okay, it's like stocks on steroids. So when the days of greed is extremely greedy, the market pumps like crazy. On days of fear, it dumps like crazy. People committed suicide, guys. On Sunday, people literally committed suicide. And to me, that was a signal. That was a signal.
So for people who lost money, right, what is your message to them? What do they need to do?
For those who lost money on futures, my view is all about risk management. Many people, they will make a lot of money. My view is this: it's nothing wrong about making a lot of money, but you gotta have a game plan. When you will make a lot, you have to take so much risk. Like one night of you wiping out your account, it's so hard to start over again.
Yeah.
Right? My view is my principle has always been every month you set a target. Let's say you want to make 10% a month on futures. Once you make 10%, you just take a chill pill and go and have a break, go for your holidays, go Bali, go Phuket, go and do everything. Following month, you compound your portfolio. Yeah, just slowly compound. But the thing about crypto is this. People like to compare. They like to see that, hey, I just made 10% this month. I made 100,000 this month. My friend just made 1 million. Hey, I want to make 1 million. And then what's going to happen is you start to become greedy, you want to take excessive risks, and then this is what happens. So my strategy has always been trade isolated. Number one, you trade isolated. You don't get your entire account to go and trade. Don't do cross trading. You do isolated trading. Number two, always set stop loss. Yeah, that's the key. That's
What
the
about
key
for
for me.
those? What about for those? I would say majority of people, right, John, who don't do a lot of investing. Maybe they do some property, maybe they do some stocks and all that, right? But they've been told about this Bitcoin thing, digital assets thing, it's the next big thing, and they want to do something, right? But then they see something like this happen. What is the message to them?
My message is really get yourself educated first.
How,
My
but how do
message
they
is
start? How do they start? There's so many, there's so many sources of information out there, right? From Twitter, I mean X to Meta, Facebook, everywhere. Your friend, your auntie, your relative, and the internet is full of YouTubers, right? How do you choose?
sure.
No,
Okay.
seriously, right? How do you choose? Do you go and start by reading the white paper? Satoshi's
doesn't
white
work, man.
paper, right?
It
Yeah.
doesn't work. I know Satoshi's white paper doesn't work. It gives you understanding what is Bitcoin,
Yeah.
but then you cannot escape from this kind of days of manipulation. Tell you what, Chuang, at Future Trends, which is my company, I run a 3 days workshop. And I'll give these 3 days challenge. I call it a challenge rather than a workshop because I'm going to challenge them. I'm going to teach them what is the manipulation happening in the market, how to avoid these manipulations. In fact, how to profit in the manipulation, like how I did on Saturday when everyone was losing money, but I was profiting. I will teach them all this in 3 days for free. I will even teach them how to open their exchange account. If you're a beginner, I'll teach them how to open their first trade. And my goal is hopefully in 3 days, you can make your first profit. I'm going to give this 3 days challenge to your audience for free. Later on, I'm going to give you the link. You can put it in the description and then they can go and sign up. It's completely free for your audience.
Okay, thank you, John. I'll put the link downstairs, down in the description for people who want to do that. Just click through, and I think they'll talk to your people, right? Okay, so how do people think about the next step? What happens after this? What's the smart move to make for people who still want to get involved? Okay, beyond education, right? What else can they do? How should they think about this?
In which aspect? Maybe
is it here to stay? Is it here to stay? Is it just scam? I mean, I know you've talked about how there's 18 million tokens out there. I think there's more than that now. There's 24 million tokens or something, right? It's a crazy amount, right? Which one is here to stay? How do you choose when you say, okay, buy at the bottom, right? But which one do you buy? How should people look at this whole space right now? Because for sure now, Monday morning, John, everybody's going to be petrified. Everybody's like, what the hell? I can't touch this. I can't touch it. It's too scary.
Yeah. So how I look at it is this. How I look at it is I actually have a watch list. And through my watch list, what I do is I look at which coins actually rebounded the strongest after the dump. So let me just turn on let me put on the screen again. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you my wins and I'm gonna tell you my losses as well. So there are certain coins that I held on. Example, you look at Bitcoin, it dumped and then it rebounded.
It went to 104 or something, right? 104, yeah.
It went to around 107. This is on Binance, okay? And then after that, it rebounded. And if you look at the dump, let me go to a 1 hour chart because this is the most important chart. I want you to observe that dump was around 10%. It was around 10% and right now it rebounded. But then there are some coins like Atom, okay? This dude, dump.
Holy crap, man.
Dumped 99%. It dumped 99% and then it rebounded. Okay. Now, my view is this. This kind of signs are signals that this is a very dangerous token. Okay. Now, one of my biggest holding is this token called SUI. I think I shared this with you before, right? One of my biggest holding is this token called SUI. And when I saw this, I was very, very concerned because this token dumped 81% and then it rebounded. It means that there's no strength, there's no bias, there's no spot bias. And that's why the futures market can easily liquidate this. So I am actually concerned because this is one of my biggest holding. I'm going to show you one of my losses as well. Okay. Before I show you my wins. This is another one. You can see over here. This token is called XPL Plasma. It is created by the guys who created Tether, USDT, the stable coin. This guy also dropped so much and then rebounded. Okay. Now, however, there are some tokens. It's like damn obvious these guys are extremely strong. This guy, you can see the previous high was around 1,003. This token is called Binance BNB. On that day, it dumped 25% only, and then it rebounded. Now it's already back to its previous high. So I call these guys the tennis ball tokens. When it
But
bounces,
they are
drops.
quite. They seem to be part of the manipulation as well, right? Binance. I was told that they actually froze accounts and people couldn't sell their assets in the middle of the crash.
It was actually my view is it was a technical glitch. I don't think they purposely go and close the account. I think they themselves also face a technical glitch. And that's why Binance right now, they have came out and they said those guys who got liquidated, Binance will compensate them and return their money. I don't know how they're going to do it because there's going to be hundreds of thousands or millions of traders. But just look at that itself. And I know Binance, this is not the first time they are doing this, where they have technical glitch and then they repay their users. So I putting that aside, looking at the token price, the price action, I think these are obvious tokens that if you do think that the bull run is coming, you might want to continue holding these kind of tokens. Okay, I'm going to show you one more, which rebounded the strongest. This is one of my biggest holding. On that day, it dropped around 43%, and then it rebounded even higher compared to that day. Of course, it's not as high as the previous high yet, right? But then it rebounded very, very strong. This coin is called MNT. It's the token by this exchange called Bybit. Okay, so I will look for these kind of tokens where they have strong rebound. And these are the tokens I will hold. And the ones that have weak rebound, those are the tokens I will sell.
Okay. So what should we know about the so-called bull run that's happening right now, right? Has it been disrupted? Is it still going on? What do we learn from this crash? Is there more crash to come? How do we anticipate the next move? What's the game plan here?
Of course, not financial advice, but I'd like to share with you my point of view. Now,
Okay.
my point of view is this. My point of view is I'm closely watching interest rate. I'm closely watching the global M2 liquidity, which is the money supply. Now, macro-wise, I am very bullish. Okay? Macro-wise, we are seeing interest rate cuts in October. We are seeing interest rate cuts in December. I am bullish. That being said, I am also watching this Thursday, where there is the PPI announcement on Thursday. If inflation is high, it will hurt. Okay, if inflation is high, it will hurt the interest rate cuts possibilities. Okay, so I am watching this and I am watching inflation. Basically, macro wise, I'm watching interest rate, I'm watching inflation. Okay, now so far, interest rate wise, it looks like we're gonna have 2 more rate cuts, and this is very bullish, and I'm actually optimistic. However, I'll tell you the other side, the risk part. The risk is this. The risk is I am observing that the crypto OG whales, which means the early stage investors, they are selling. And why are they selling? Now, let me explain to you why. It's simply because in Bitcoin, there is a very famous saying of the 4-year cycle. Okay? And let me go to a weekly chart. And you can see this 4-year cycle. This 4-year cycle, okay, the first one, it tops around December 2017. The second one tops somewhere around 2021. So 4 years, right? 2021, 4 years. And right now, 4 years later, I want you to observe this trend line. It always hits this resistance level before it dips. So guys, I want you guys to know, you guys who are listening in right now, we are at the top. We are at the top. Okay? So this is actually danger. And if I go into the daily chart of Bitcoin, this to me looks like distribution. It means that the market always will go into a accumulation zone, mark up, distribution, mark down, accumulation, mark up, distribution, mark down. So there is what I call a macro and technical divergence right now. Macro wise, looks good. Technical wise, looks bad. So I'm actually 50-50 right now. I don't even dare to ask my mother to buy because I'm 50-50. Macro looks good, technical looks bad. Yeah.
What do you make of this line of thinking which says that that 4-year cycle is over now because you've got all these treasuries, all these sovereigns buying, countries are buying, and therefore there's going to be what they call a perpetual bid on Bitcoin. Finite supply, hard asset. People are chasing gold. Gold is now somewhere north of maybe mid 20 something trillion, and it's moved a lot. And Bitcoin is like the digital gold, so it hasn't really moved as fast as gold. So it'll catch up with gold eventually. What do you think? Make of that line of thinking?
This is exact reason why I say macro wise I'm bullish. Macro wise, so these guys who are on the school of thoughts of saying that the 4-year cycle is over is simply because they watch the global M2 liquidity, right? So they look into the money supply. If there's more money being printed, they're going to chase on risk on assets. And that's why you see Bitcoin has been very high. You look at gold, is breaking all-time highs. You look at silver, still breaking all-time highs. In fact, silver has broke its 21 years all-time high. So this is the line of thought of those guys who are macro first. And then the other one, the risk is this. The risk is the technical part. The technical part is that 4-year cycle. The technical part is we are actually at the top. The technical part is we are seeing distribution here. So that's why I say I'm 50-50. To be very frank, Chuang, at this point of time, I'm not buying too aggressively. I'm slowly selling my altcoins. I'm slowly taking profit of my altcoins. I'm not selling my Bitcoin yet because at this point of time, I am watching this. If Bitcoin can rebound above 125 level and it breaks through, it means that last week's all-time high was not a fake out. And we will follow the macro indicators. But if the markets, the crypto markets are so fearful right now because of what happened with the huge liquidation event, most of the crypto traders have no more money. My question as well is this, right now, what is fueling the crypto market? Okay, this crypto market right now, this crypto total market cap is also digital asset treasuries. I think we discussed about this last month, where a lot of public listed companies are buying crypto. Now, my question next is this. These public listed companies who saw this huge liquidation event, will they still dare to have their own public listed company to buy tokens like Sui, Hype, Tao, Ton? Will they dare to do that? And then second thing is, those guys who are buying properties, very traditional into stocks, will they dare to get into an asset class that can have a code chaos like this? So that is my consideration right now.
Wow. Okay, so it's actually very, very difficult to understand which way to go, which direction to go, right? If you are already allocated into the space, what should you do? If you are not allocated to the space, what do you do? If you're thinking about going to the space, what should you do? And I know you talked about education. Okay, so the link is below. If you want to go and check out future trends, do so. But those 3 types of investors, what's the game plan? Because supposedly the Q4 is supposed to be the quarter, the one where everything goes through the roof, right? And it's traditionally also a very strong quarter going to December. So what do you do?
So if you guys who are not invested yet, my advice is to, because it's 50-50, my goal, my rule has always been never lose money. Okay. So if it's 50-50, if I'm unsure, I won't invest yet. Okay. So those who are not invested yet, just get educated and prepare yourself. Because at the end of the day, you got to be prepared if the opportunity comes. Okay. Now, if you guys who are already invested, my suggestion right now is this. My suggestion, because it's 50-50, I would suggest to start taking profits on your altcoins. I don't know what altcoins you have. Altcoins are coins that are not Bitcoin. Okay. These are Ethereum, Solana, Sui, all these guys, right? BNB, you can start to consider taking profits already. Or you
How
can
would
start
you
to
how would you strategize the selling of your altcoins? How do you do it?
it really depends on what altcoins you have, right? So for me, what I'll be doing is I'll be doing some technical analysis. Like example, this is what the coins that I hold a lot. It's called Sui. This was the support level. It broke the support level, and right now, obviously, it's very dangerous. So what I'll do is I will use indicators like this to look into where is the massive selling taking place. So it obviously shows me that the massive selling took place around 3.5. Well, there's two things I can do. I can either sell it at the last support level of 3.1, or I can sell it around 3.5. So this is where technical analysis comes in place. Okay. So my suggestion is for those who are invested, it's time to relocate your portfolio. It's time for you to be very honest with yourself. Hey, the coins that you have, what kind of dips do they have? What kind of rebounds do they have? I like this token free. But just because I like it doesn't mean I have to marry it. To me, every cryptocurrency is like one night stand. You get in, you feel good, you get out. Okay. So like tokens like Sway, I'm actually preparing to take profit. Okay. The good news is I actually bought very low at 0.4. Okay. So right now, even if whether it's 3.5 or whether it's 3.1, I'm making profits. So those guys who are invested, my suggestion is seriously look into doing a portfolio rebalancing. If you have tokens like this, okay, if you have tokens like this, like Anna, one of the tokens I have as well, you look at the big deep palm dumb, okay, wow, this looks like a ping pong. It's not a tennis ball. Okay. It didn't rebound up. So to me, this is risky. Then those who are so your question is those who already invested and those who are not invested, right? So
Yeah.
those not invested, my suggestion is wait first, get yourself educated. Those who are invested, relook into your entire portfolio right now. Okay. Do a portfolio rebalance, start to prepare some stables on the side. Don't be too high risk.
Okay, I think that's very instructional. John, I'm glad we chatted. I think you've thrown a lot of clarity on this whole space. I'm gonna go ahead and put your link to your course in the description below. And you also run this daily commentary on Discord, right? What about is it the only platform you run a commentary, or is it just only Discord?
So I run my daily commentary on Discord. For people to join, they have to be a member of Future Trends first. But before they become a member of Future Trends, they got to attend that 3 days program first. They have to attend that 3 days challenge, get themselves the basic understanding of crypto. And if you feel like, hey, your values align with the way I look at crypto, yeah, then you can go and sign up to become a Future Trends member. Because in crypto, there's a lot of different school of thoughts. It's not about the crypto. It's really about the philosophy, the strategy, and the system that different traders use. So yeah, if you guys want to be a part of it, go attend the 3 days program first. And if not, one of it as well is I actually run a YouTube channel as well. But my channel is in Chinese. And that's the reason why I'm on Chuang channel doing my English.
Yeah, because you're normally in Mandarin, right? I get it. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I usually do this in Chinese. You can go and check this out as well. It's called Coin Bureau Chinese. We belong to the part my YouTube channel actually belongs to a part of the world's largest crypto YouTube channel called Coin Bureau. So the English channel is like 2.7 million subscribers. This is one of the original gangsters in crypto YouTube. Yeah, so this is the English one. I run the Chinese one. I run the
All
Chinese
right, man.
division. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. John, thank you for chatting. I think we should keep in touch more often. I know we've been quite sporadic with this episode, but we should actually do it more frequently because I think people are trying to make sense of what's going on, especially as we run into the end of the year. So thank you. Speak to you soon, man. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Okay, dude. Bye.